A second person has died in a Miramar triple shooting that happened over the 4th of July holiday. Tonight, the family of the two victims speaking out for the first time about their devastating loss and who these individuals really were. CBS News Miami's Joan.
If you watched our last video on the Dream Doll Bree shooting, you already know how tragic that story was. But it just got worse. Because now, this isn't a single death anymore. This is officially a double homicide. Her cousin, the one who was fighting for his life in that hospital bed, he's gone too. If you're new here and this is your first time hearing about this case, go check out our previous video on Brianna Johnson for the full story from the beginning. But if you already know the background, stay right here, because we're only covering the update today. Before we get into it, hit subscribe and tap that bell icon so you don't miss what comes next in this case. This is Shadow Crime. Let's get into it. So here's where we left off. Brianna Johnson, known online as Dream Doll Bree, was killed in a drive-by shooting in Miramar, Florida. She was in a Lamborghini with two men when a white sedan pulled up beside them and opened fire. One of those two men in the car with her was hospitalized in critical condition. At the time, police hadn't released his identity. We didn't know his relationship to Brianna. We just knew he was fighting for his life. Now we know who he was. His name was Arthur Lee Johnson III. People close to him called him A.J. And here's the part that's going to hit different for a lot of you watching. A.J. wasn't just a friend riding in that car that night. He was Brianna's cousin. And according to family, they weren't just cousins in the distant, see each other at Thanksgiving kind of way. They were raised together like siblings. Same household energy, same bond. The kind of closeness where you grow up calling each other brother and sister, even though it's not technically true on paper. Think about that for a second. Two kids who grew up under the same roof, who probably learned to walk around the same relatives, who built their whole childhood memories together, and now their names are both attached to the same crime scene. That's not just tragic. That's the kind of loss that reshapes an entire family overnight. A.J. was also 21 years old, same age as Brianna. Two 21-year-olds, practically raised as brother and sister, both gone within days of each other because of the same night, the same shooting, the same car.
A second person has died in a Miramar triple shooting that happened over the 4th of July holiday. Tonight, the family of the two victims speaking out for the first time about their devastating loss and who these individuals really were. CBS News Miami's Joan Murray is your reporter live in Pompano Beach at Blanche Ely High School, where the two victims had quite a legacy. Joan?
Yeah, they were very well known here at Blanche Ely High School. The two were more like brother and sister. They attended the school and graduated in 2023. They spent all their time together, and they spent their last moments together.
It's hard to navigate.
Saying a final goodbye to his son was something Arthur Johnson never imagined.
They didn't deserve this.
That's his son A.J. with his niece Brianna during their final year in high school, when A.J. was named Mr. Senior and Brianna crowned Miss Blanche Ely.
I raised those kids. They weren't no troublemakers, and set the record straight. My son had no type of gang affiliation.
Okay.
I can't do this.
Early Sunday, A.J., Brianna Johnson, and another friend, he said, were dropping someone off in Miramar when the unthinkable happened. In this surveillance, you see a white sedan pull up next to their rented green Lamborghini, and a shooter starts firing. Brianna was killed. A.J. died of his injuries Tuesday.
Thank you.
Brianna Johnson had gained a following as a social media influencer with hundreds of thousands of followers on TikTok and Instagram. His father says A.J. was an entrepreneur building a clothing line.
Do you have any clue on how they found themselves next to that other car?
I can say that wasn't a robbery attempt.
Miramar police are running down leads, looking into whether there was a fight somewhere before the shooting. Police tell me the group had been to a mansion Airbnb party, a nightclub, and stopped at two gas stations.
I made about it. I'm gonna turn this into something good.
And to that end, next week, Pompano Beach, in conjunction with the Johnson family, is planning an anti-violence, anti-gun demonstration memorial for the two. The Johnson family is preparing to bury A.J. and Brianna. In Pompano Beach tonight, Joan Murray, CBS News, Miami.
So let's talk about what actually happened to A.J. after the shooting, because this part matters. He was rushed to Memorial Regional Hospital, along with Brianna and the third victim in that car. At first, police said he was in critical condition. That word, critical, it gives you a sliver of hope, right? Critical doesn't mean gone. Critical means there's still a fight happening. And for a few days, that's exactly what was happening. A.J. was fighting. But on Wednesday, that fight ended. Police confirmed that A.J. died from his injuries. And just like that, a story that already felt heavy became something even harder to carry. This wasn't just about losing Brianna anymore. This was two members of the same family, gone within the same week, from the same act of violence. Now here's something new that's come out since our last video, and it's important. Investigators revealed that before the shooting even happened, the group didn't just stop at one gas station. They actually went to a mansion Airbnb party first, then a nightclub, and then two separate gas stations, all before ending up on Sunshine Boulevard where the shooting happened. That's a lot of stops. That's a lot of places where something could have gone wrong, where the wrong person could have seen them, where tension could have started building. And remember that fight we talked about at the gas station in our last video? Police are now actively looking into whether there was some kind of dispute earlier that night that led to what happened later. They still haven't confirmed it. But the fact that investigators are specifically pursuing that angle tells you they think there's something they're worth chasing. Here's something else that's come out, and it's honestly heartbreaking. A.J. S. father, Arthur Johnson II, has been speaking out publicly, and he's not just grieving, he's also defending his son's name. Because apparently, once news of the shooting spread, rumors started circulating online. The kind of rumors that try to explain violence by assuming the victim must have been involved in something. His father shut that down directly. He said, quote, "I raised those kids. They weren't troublemakers," end quote. Sit with that for a second. A man just lost his son, and instead of being able to grieve in peace, he's having to go on record defending who his son was as a person.
Police on the hunt for the gunman who shot 3 people in a Lamborghini over the weekend.
Officials say those victims were followed and targeted. Local 10's Roy Ramos is live in Miramar now with the latest details. Roy?
Some pretty terrifying moments for residents who live here in this neighborhood. They say one moment they heard those shots fired. The next they walk out of their homes to see an SUV riddled with bullets. And we've now learned that a 21-year-old woman has lost her life. Home surveillance video capturing the moments a Lamborghini SUV pulls up to a stop sign one moment. The next, another car pulls up beside it. Shots are fired and that SUV comes to a crashing stop in a driveway. Watch as you can see muzzle flashes coming from the passenger side of the passing vehicle before the car speeds away.
Me and my family supposedly heard what sounded like gunshots around like 5-something, 6 in the morning, something like that.
Residents we spoke with described the sound of gunfire early Sunday morning at the intersection of Southwest 27th Court and Sunshine Boulevard.
We found a car that had crashed into a house. 3 people were inside the car. All 3 had been shot.
Miramar police said their officers responded to the neighborhood following a shot spotter alert. When they arrived, they discovered inside that fluorescent green SUV were 3 people shot. 2 men and a woman were rushed to the hospital in critical condition. The woman, identified as 21-year-old Brianna Johnson, who sadly died from her injuries. Johnson, we've learned, was a social media influencer who went by the handle Dream Doll Bree. Well, investigators still don't know what led up to the shooting or who pulled the trigger. It's residents concerned for their safety with the shots fired right outside of their homes.
I don't no longer live here with my parents, so it definitely is a little worrisome to know that they're going to be here by themselves and then this stuff is happening around them, especially my grandma, older age. She's always outside. You know, stray bullets can catch anybody. It's not something good to think about.
And right now we are working to get the names of the other 2 victims and an update on their condition. As soon as we get those details, we'll be sure to let you know. Meanwhile, if you have any information you feel can help police, you are urged to contact the Miramar Police Department or just call Broward Crime Stoppers. That number, 954-493-TIPS. For now in Miramar, Roy Ramos, Local 10 News.
Now, let's talk about the twist that's come out since our last update, because this one adds a whole new layer to the case. Newly released 911 calls have given us a window into just how chaotic those first few minutes were. On these calls, you can hear people screaming, begging dispatchers for an ambulance, absolute panic in their voices. One neighbor even told reporters she thought the gunfire was just fireworks left over from the 4th of July. That's how normal it sounded at first, until it very quickly wasn't. And here's where things get even messier. Since A.J's death was confirmed, some accounts claiming to be connected to the family have started pointing fingers online, specifically at people close to Brianna, including her hairstylist. Now, I want to be really clear with you here, because this is important. That accusation is not coming from police. It's not confirmed. It's not evidence. It's someone online, grieving and angry, making a claim on social media. And we're only mentioning it because it's part of what's circulating publicly right now, not because we're saying it's true. Police have not named a suspect, and they still say they only have limited information to work with, even after receiving a lot of tips. So where does that leave us? 2 young people, raised as siblings, killed within days of each other. A shooter still out there. A vehicle description that keeps shifting slightly depending on who you ask. And a family caught between grieving and having to defend their own son's character while they're still in shock. So here's what I want you to think about. If this really was a targeted attack, like police believe, then who did they actually want gone? Was it Brianna? Was it A.J.? Or were they just in the wrong car with the wrong person that night? And if that fight at the gas station really is connected, then how do you go from a simple altercation to someone deciding, an hour later, that the right response is pulling up beside a car and opening fire more than a dozen times? We're going to keep watching this case. And the moment there's a suspect, an arrest, or any real answers, we're bringing it straight to you. If this update hit you the way it hit us, make sure you're subscribed and that bell icon is turned on, because this is a case we're not letting go of. This is Shadow Crime, and we'll see you in the next one.